Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsockеtradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
It's Coffee Ann on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us on Thursday morning, March 13th. I'm Joe Callahan. Normally, Sue Tessier-McKenzie from the Blackstone Valley Call-in-Times and Bob Lauder are here on Thursdays.
Unfortunately,
both of them are not here.
Yeah, Sue had somebody change an appointment, so it's a conflict now. She was ready to be here, but late yesterday she said, Dave, I committed to doing this, and they moved it on me.
So that's Dave Richards over there.
Hi there, how are you?
And
I was originally going to fill in for Bob.
That's right, but now you're just being you.
Right.
And then we pulled off the street because he was walking by so early. Tim McCann from Do You Remember?
Wouldn't give me a straight answer where I should go for a good plate of...
I'm researching that. Good morning, Joe.
A good plate of what?
Of
corned beef.
Corned beef?
Corned beef and cabbage, yeah.
Well, you're not a cook, Tim, so...
I'm not a cook.
Where I usually eat it, already did it last weekend, and I couldn't go because it was a scheduling conflict, and I'm looking for my I know there's some restaurants out there, but they don't advertise with us, so I'm reluctant to go there if I have a choice about it, All
right.
So I asked him because he runs this great bar.
That's right.
I had a nice meal there the other day, and I said, so where can I go for a guy? But he's not doing the corned beef and cabbage there.
No, we are. We're doing corned beef and cabbage.
You said your wife was making corned beef and cabbage. You didn't.
At McTee's.
But you didn't tell me that you were serving it at the pub.
Boy, there's been a lot of miscommunication this morning. I should still be home in bed right now.
Who makes? I asked him yesterday. I says, who makes a good plate of corned beef and cabbage?
My wife.
At home?
That's right. You said your wife.
Yeah, but she's in
and so I
charge
said,
of the
well,
kitchen.
that's just fine.
Yeah.
I told you afterwards, I got to find a place to go.
Oh, come on down.
Well, there you go. Now you know.
And it's my thing because, Denise isn't into corned beef and cabbage, so this is my mission personally.
Now you're on a mission. Sunday and Monday, but Sunday, if we run out, obviously Monday is St. Patty's Day.
Well, you make a big batch, but you can't make new brisket just like that.
She brines it, and she does all this stuff,
Yeah.
and it's delicious. Yeah. So, and it's fatty, so you get a lot of flavor from the fat.
Yeah.
All right.
So she'll be doing it Sunday, because everybody's asking
That's why
us
I
to
eat
do
it
St.
once a
Patty's Day
year.
on Sunday.
Right.
And obviously St. Patty's Day is actually Monday, so whatever she has left over, she will still have, obviously.
Sure.
But I don't think she's going to have a lot left over, from what people are saying.
All right. Well, that's at least we solved that problem. I got to go call somebody. Sorry.
Make a phone call, Dave. For those of you that don't listen to the Do You Remember program that Tim is on,
shame on you.
Shame on you. But anyway, what you won't know is that Tim had a long career with Hasbro. How long were you there, Tim?
Oh, 33 years.
All right. So and you went all over the world.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, traveled
They
extensively.
call his restaurant Mr. Potato Head. But Hasbro had an
no.
objection.
Yeah,
you
would
don't work here anymore, they said.
Right.
We'll want money if you're going to do that. So because you had your long career with Hasbro, this whole thing with, is Hasbro going to leave? Is Hasbro not going to leave? Has piqued your interest, I'm sure, of whether or not these guys are going to go. Now, you were just telling me off air, so please come up with it. With the state of Rhode Island is offering Hasbro if they stay in Rhode Island, and is this a good thing or not a good thing? Okay, have you got it?
Yeah, I have it here.
Okay,
So
what do you got?
This is what the state of Rhode Island is publicly saying they are offering Hasbro.
Okay.
I don't know if there's anything behind closed doors.
All right.
But they're going to work with Hasbro. The state's going to work with the airlines to bring direct flights from TF Green to JFK, London, and Seattle, where Hasbro has some offices.
I think we have a direct line to JFK.
Yeah, we do.
On one.
I mean, you could take a train to JFK.
Yeah, but the
to
others,
the city rather.
But there's no guarantee.
No, that's up to
that
the
airlines
airlines.
will do that,
No.
and they'll say, "Well, how many people are going to fly? 2, 3? It's not worth
And
it."
they're also going to say, by the way, we have Boston right up the street.
That's right.
And
Let's
they
go
have
up
direct
there.
flights, so go up there. They are offering airport lounge accommodations.
At
Ooh.
TF Green?
I would assume, because they're not going to offer them at Boston.
I don't think there's any lounges.
Yeah, there is a lounge now. There's a military lounge.
That's separate from
yes.
the rest of the people?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I haven't seen it because I'm not in the military, so
Yeah.
okay.
I haven't seen it either,
So
but
they
I do
want
know
to,
it's there.
what do they want to build something different just
I don't know.
for the Hasbro?
I know, shuttle service for workers to airports in Boston and New York, and preferred parking rates at transit hubs.
So are we talking from Hasbro in Pawtucket, shuttled
It does
to
not
TF
say
Green?
that.
Okay.
It says 2 airports in Boston and New York. So you're going to shuttle them to New York?
That's a long shuttle. That's a 4-hour
Yeah,
ride.
we got a direct flight now.
Yeah. Or 5 hours if you're going through Connecticut, obviously. So.
Enhancing current tax incentives for Hasbro, like film
Okay.
tax credit, research and manufacturing credits. Well, they don't manufacture anything here anymore.
So
Well, there's a caveat to that. They still manufacture in East Long Meadow, but they don't own the facility.
All right.
So I don't know how that would work because they don't own that facility. This is my favorite one.
All right.
Ramping up marketing and promotions, like holding a annual Rhode Island Hasbro Day, complete with face painting and balloons.
So when they say marketing, okay, well, are we going to go to, like, let's say the state of Ohio and say, hey, all you Ohioans, we're having Hasbro Day in Rhode Island. You should come and partake of the festivities.
Maybe it's a Potato Head Day. I don't know, but it's
And everyone in Ohio is
that's a
going to
little
go.
embarrassing.
Everyone in Ohio will go, no.
Yeah,
That's like,
I'm not sure on that one.
Oh, okay.
An interactive Hasbro experience in a local museum. Well, that goes good if you have people from Ohio coming in for Hasbro Day.
Well, we have the Museum of Work and Culture here.
Yeah.
It could fit in there.
Yeah.
But that's more for the locals. I don't think anyone's coming from Indiana to see that.
I don't know if anybody's coming from Pawtucket to see that.
Well, they might, but no, okay.
And then lastly, child care incentives, including a potential on-site daycare
Daycare.
facility for workers.
Oh.
That's got some value to it.
It
That
does.
one does. I
It
don't know
does.
how that would work. 'Cause
They don't
everybody else-
already have it?
No.
Okay,
No,
all
Hasbro's
right.
never had
Never had that.
daycare.
Okay.
But that's an interesting one because I think every other
Big business?
employer in
has
the state would say,
something-
wait a minute, pump the brakes here.
I want that.
Yeah. So now you're going to be in the daycare business. And there's, by the way, the big
Well, they
word
would
there is
just hire it up to
potential.
Right,
Potential.
everything's a potential. Maybe. We hope so.
Yeah.
We got our fingers crossed
Yeah.
kind of
But
thing.
I also say Hasbro has threatened to pull out of the state numerous times. But
right.
the state of Rhode Island has typically given Hasbro what they wanted to keep them. And at some point
Okay.
you have to say, hey, enough.
Well, yeah.
We've given you this. We've given you
Yeah.
that. When do we, where do we draw that line?
What you don't know is what Massachusetts and Boston
Yeah.
is offering them to come here.
Yeah.
Besides a very nice building in the Seaport District
Yeah.
and 10 minutes from Logan Airport.
Yeah, I just don't get the draw to Boston. But you've got some very talented people at Hasbro that come in from Boston. You got some very talented people that come in from Providence, from Pawtucket,
Mm-hmm.
from Warwick. I don't know if those people want to drive up to Boston now, or if they're looking. I mean, the people that are with Hasbro are still going to be on the payroll in Boston.
Well, I heard that theory, I guess, if they move to Boston, let's say half the people from Rhode Island don't want to go up there,
Yeah.
which is what they're counting on.
Yeah.
So they can go hire new people at a lower pay rate.
Yeah.
Kids out of college.
Yeah, maybe a little. I don't know. I have not heard that. I don't
Okay.
want to
No,
comment
that's
on
just,
that.
that's just one theory.
But and then Dan McKee, this was the best one. At the end, he said, "Listen, at the end of the day, if they want to leave, we'll bring in a company that's growing." A little bit of a slap in the
Okay,
face.
all right, yeah. Well, I guess he's trying to say, you're not the only fish in the sea. We can go try to get somebody else to come here.
Or I think what he's saying is, listen, guys, you want all this, but you're not growing. You're not growing your business. You're not hiring. You're
Yeah,
shrinking.
You're shrinking.
I don't know if you hold the cards.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. It'll
Yeah.
be interesting. There could be a lot of space available in Pawtucket soon if they leave. I don't know what they'll do with the 1027 building on Newport Avenue, the old textile mill. It's a big building. It's a gorgeous
Huge
building.
building, yeah.
It's beautiful inside.
Right across the street from the funeral homes.
Yeah. So it could become apartments
Sure. Okay. And
or a
that
farmer's market.
they're trying to turn Old Memorial Hospital into homeless shelter.
Yep.
So there
Yeah.
you go for
And
that,
it's
that as well.
That's
so.
just sitting there right now. But
Right.
I don't know if the residents in that area really want a homeless shelter in their neighborhood. But I
well,
mean,
no one
nothing
ever-
against the homeless, but
no one ever wants
Right,
that,
I mean, it's-
so. All right. So, but no word on when Hasbro wants to make a decision.
no,
They-
I
they've
mean,
never
obviously,
said
I'm not
that.
there anymore, and even if
Yeah.
I was, I don't think I'd be privy to that information. But
Can I have that information, please?
yeah, I'll call. I'll make a phone call.
All right, let's see now. All right, other things going on. We have the story this morning. The principal of Isaac Payne Elementary School, this is in Foster, has been placed on administrative leave. Why, you ask? Go ahead and ask why.
I'm afraid to ask why, but I will ask. Joe, why?
Well, officials have not released any additional information, but she came under fire earlier this year after parents learned they were not informed about a student who allegedly brought a weapon to the elementary school, and she didn't tell anybody.
What kind of weapon?
Doesn't say.
Yeah, so
Doesn't say.
it
Could be a knife.
It could be a stick.
It,
Put down that stick.
as long as you put your fingers and your thumb and finger in the form of a gun, it's a weapon
Yeah,
somehow.
so-
But in this day and age, Tim,
No, I get it.
You've got to tell what's happening.
Yeah, you should be transparent. There's no doubt
Yes.
about it. But
It's not like when we were in school.
no, we'd bring guns. Actually, when we were in school, and this is no lie, some kids would go hunting either before or after class, and they
Yes.
had their rifles in the back
the
of their
car.
truck, right in their back
the
window,
gun rack.
and they go to school, and we never had a
That's fine.
problem.
Yeah. How many times Tim and I went to school together, middle school? How many times did we have bomb threats at the school?
I don't.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
You had to open up your locker and then go outside.
Yeah.
And the fire department came, and it never made the news.
No, but the funniest thing is, you think about that. Hey, there's a bomb threat. Everybody go open your locker and get the hell out of the building.
Yeah,
right?
I know. Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, the bombs are in the locker. There's one of us is going to blow up. But I think we always thought, there wasn't really a bomb threat. They're looking for something else, kind of thing. Good conspiracy theory stuff.
Yeah.
So
But to your point, back in those days, you didn't hear about it on the news.
no.
Kids brought guns to school, left them in their cars.
And I don't know if you remember this, Tim, and I've told this story before. I know you went to what was that high school you went
Our
to?
Lady of Providence.
Our Lady of Providence. That's not there anymore.
Right.
But ninth grade, you did go to Cumberland
Transitional
High.
school, correct.
Do you remember the explosion that happened at the transitional at Cumberland High in the ninth grade building?
Vaguely.
Okay. It
Now that you
happened.
say
It
it.
happened just before classes started, when everyone was homeroom, and there was not a huge explosion, but enough of an explosion, and they called for EMS, and I cannot remember the kid's name. Wasn't your real top of the line smart guy?
He wasn't classmate president, I don't
No.
think.
And I can remember looking out the window, them wheeling him out on a stretcher. His hand was up in the air because he blew off a couple of fingers, white as a sheet. I've never seen anyone like that expression, but he was like that, and he went away. He never came back.
Okay, so I don't remember him.
And I can't remember his name. And what happened? He went away, and school just started.
Yeah.
We didn't get to go home. The only way our parents found out is if we told them,
Yep.
hey, guess what happened at school today? And they went, oh, wow, okay.
Wasn't you, was it?
It wasn't
no,
you? No.
They're counting my fingers. Yeah.
You're all set. Okay, well, don't do that. Don't hang out with him anymore. Oh, all right.
Ooh, lefty?
Yeah. But yeah, he never came back. But that's, I mean, this stuff happened back, 40 years ago. You just never heard about it.
You never heard
in the
about it. We
news.
didn't make a big deal out of it.
We didn't make a big deal out of it.
It went away.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Some people could actually sit there and say, well, maybe if you made a big deal out of it, it wouldn't happen today. I don't think that's true, but
We used to, and we had an employee here when he went to elementary school here in Woonsocket. He went to private schools, and so the nuns telling the class one day, okay, everybody, remember to bring your knives tomorrow because we're carving.
yeah, why not?
Bring your weapon to school. It was bring your weapon to school day, and so they all brought their knives. And did anyone get stuck? No.
So it's funny. I think if you teach kids to respect knives or guns, that curiosity goes away. I mean,
Well, yeah.
it doesn't stop you from doing something stupid, but
Right.
it's a step in the right direction.
It is. All right, we're going to take our first break here on the Coffee and Program. More coming your way. Comments and questions can be called in 766-1240.
A great auto mechanic can be a real comfort in your life. That's why so many people in the Blackstone Valley take their cars to Henry's Auto Repair on Park Avenue in Woonsocket. In fact, so many people trust Henry's that Henry's won 3 gold medals and 2 silver medals, 5 medals in all in ON Radio's Best of the Blackstone Valley contest. Why don't you join these people? For Rhode Island car inspections, oil changes, brakes, and remember Henry's for tires, comprehensive repairs, or preventative maintenance, it's the award-winning Henry's Auto Repair, 1068 Park Avenue in Woonsocket.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800 800-230-2777. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-230-2777. That's 800-230-2777 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores. What do you have to say, Dave, about Scott McGee?
I talked to Scott McGee the other day. He's climbing up a mountain face.
In New Hampshire, right?
In New Hampshire, right. And there he is, going up the side of this mountain. And Dave calls him, because I don't realize he's up in New Hampshire at the side of a mountain, climbing up and exerting himself. Mm-hmm. So Dave calls. The phone goes off. He stops climbing, picks up the phone, and talks to Dave. This is how he treats everybody. This guy is amazing. You know, I just thought I'd say that because it's something that people ought to know about Scott McGee. He cares. He'll take your call. I mean, if he doesn't pick up the phone, it's because he's talking to somebody else right at that moment, you know, or seriously would be offending someone else if he took the call. And I heard a rumor that he does sleep now and then, but he sleeps with a phone. What can I say? Scott McGee.
Thanks, Dave.
Have you heard of Scott McGee with RE/MAX Properties? He's been selling real estate in Rhode Island and Massachusetts for the last 17 years, and you can see that he loves what he does. Scott, as well as his team, take pride in what they call the fair and honest team. No gimmicks. And no, they're not buying your house if it doesn't sell, etc. Just fair and honest real estate. Scott personally works with tons of sellers and buyers and specializes in residential properties as well as commercial, and he's always very fair and offers super competitive rates. Remember, this is probably the biggest move in dollars that you will ever spend or receive. You want to go with a trusted and experienced agent. Scott is fair, honest, and modest, always puts the clients first, and he also dealt with literally almost any situation. You really need to look at your real estate needs as a business. You want to pay and get the right money now so that you're not paying for it later. Trust me. So why not give Scott McGee a call at 401-639-2906. That's 401-639-2906.
This portion of Coffee is brought to you by the Blackstone Valley Call-in Times.
You've heard it before. The world is getting smaller. Places you had to travel to years ago now seem right next door. It's no surprise, then, that all the communities of the Blackstone Valley have so much in common these days that we share common interests. Keeping up with this trend, the Blackstone Valley's two daily newspapers, The Call and The Times, have joined forces to cover the entire valley in one convenient newspaper. The Blackstone Valley's Call and Times, a paper for the entire valley. At your local store, honor box, or home delivery, 767-8522.
It's Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Tim McCann, and Dave Richards is here. Bob Lauder and Sue Tessier-McKenzie could not make it today. Hopefully they can be with us next week. Well, they keep trying.
Well, I'm sure that Bob will be back next week.
Yes.
Well,
Well,
I have it on good authority.
They keep trying down at the Wyatt Detention Center to keep trying to pull one over on you. And this time a Massachusetts attorney, Tim, and an inmate have pleaded guilty in a scheme to smuggle contraband into the facility. Teresa DeJoseph allegedly received papers soaked in synthetic marijuana from Hansa Stepford and tried to give them to Wyatt detainees, which I guess they'll just roll them up and try to smoke them.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, 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 no.
I don't know what you do with
Eat 'em?
synthetic. I don't know.
You soak them and the stuff comes back
right.
out of them. So
Oh, you
it's
put 'em
like
back
you're
in the
washing
water?
your shorts, Joe. You soak it and then you wring it and the dirt goes into the sink.
And what do you do with the dirt?
Well, in this case,
With your
it's a
shorts?
chemical, and that's you market the chemical to your fellow inmates.
And how? But how do they ingest it? This is what I'm getting at. Are they? Do you roll in
Dry it
roll
out.
papers and
Dry it out.
just inhale it, or?
Well, I don't have a blow-by-blow for you, Joe.
just don't
I
understand
never
what-
I'm
did
still
it
stuck
myself.
on the shorts here.
But it was explained to me by National Geographic, so I
Oh,
figured
all right.
they looked into it for me.
Well, either way, they got busted.
Yeah, they pled guilty to possession with intent to distribute a controlled substance, conspiracy to distribute a controlled substance, providing a prohibited object to an inmate. So, yeah, they try, and it doesn't work out to it so well. All right, so and we had that went on. We had a second person sentenced in a 2021 drive-by killing in Providence. They got double life plus 60 years.
Double life plus 60 years.
Yeah, and in the shooting of one person and attempted murder of someone else. So there you go.
So, what's the point of saying double life?
I think it's got something to do with about a parole.
Parole?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
And if you
assume
do
so.
that, then you don't get parole. But if you get just one life,
Wow.
you can be up for parole.
Having your fingers crossed in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't allow you to serve an entire lifetime without parole unless that is the sentence.
Why
So
can't they
if
just
you've
say
got
no-
if you've got life,
Yeah.
they figure that's what now, 25, 30 years? I forget. But double life would be like 60 years.
So they can't just say life, no parole?
Well, they could, but they didn't.
Yeah, they did double life.
And remember now, for different crimes, there's a menu of what you can have for punishments.
Yeah.
There's judicial guidance on it. So so they want to get this guy off the street and want to make sure he stays off the street and he doesn't cop a plea. No good behavior is going to get him out on the street or something, because they're convinced judicially he can't be trusted, that this is just a bad seed, he's never going to reform and like that, but we don't have a death penalty.
Yeah.
So life
And then 60.
consecutive, that's double life, that's 60 years, plus on top of that the law allows me to add a few years on top of that, 60 years on top of the 60 years.
So therefore, he'll pass away in prison. It's a guarantee.
I don't know. He could still get a Social Security check. From what I've been reading lately about people getting Social Security checks.
He could at a certain age, I forget exactly what it is, but when you reach a certain age in prison, there is an age deferment or something like that, that if you've had good, deportment while you've been locked up and you're now like 70 years old or something like that, and you were robbing banks when you're in your 20s and you've been in prison all this time, at 70 years old, he's not going to go back to doing that again. So
Well, the guy that shot Reagan, what was his name? He got out.
Hinckley?
Hinckley. He just got out.
I thought he's in a halfway house or
Well, it could. I don't know. But
with mental
no, I
mental
think he's out.
patients.
I think he got out. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to look that one up.
I wouldn't be surprised, because that has been a long time.
Yeah, it was back in the '80s.
So
Yeah.
you're looking 40 years plus, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, in case you want to, the St. Patrick's Day parade in Boston is Sunday.
The one in Southie, the real parade.
The real one.
That's-
And so now the T's putting on more cars for your drunken revelry, which will be taking place.
Yeah.
Do you remember the great story that Dave Balfour told about the parade in Southie?
I don't remember it.
There was a time, especially the beginning of the 20th century and the end of the 19th century, somewhere around 1900, give or take, where an enormous number of people from Ireland came over because they couldn't eat over there. There wasn't any food for them. There was a famine, and they came over to America. A lot of the things that you and I and Tim have grown up with have been, where they revered the Irish. There were so many of them, and they're so attached to their homeland. There's also this romantic stuff. And St. Patrick's Day is St. Patrick's patron saint of Ireland, so we made a holiday out of it. And what had happened is that in the 1900s, they went for a permit to have a St. Patrick's Day parade, which, by the way, they don't have in Dublin. It's because St. Patrick's Day is a religious day for them over there, and they don't do the drunken debauchery that we associate it with here. So they went for a permit, and they said, no, if you get one, then the French are going to want one, the Lebanese are going to want one. We can't have all these parades. No, it's not going to happen. And so the Irish folks who wanted the parade got together with themselves and said, how do we get by this? And some clever person said, well, let's see what else happened on March 17th. They might give us a permit to have a parade for. The day that the British left Boston, when George Washington,
Evacuation
commander of
day.
the, that's right, commander of the Continental Army, he was watching the British leave. It happened to be the 17th of March, the same day, so they went and got a permit for an evacuation day parade,
Okay.
and it stuck.
And it's never been called that.
Well, not in
No.
modern
Right? Yeah.
not in modern times. But I always admire these people who solve problems in a clever manner.
Yeah, I do too.
And this, I mean, you might groan a little bit, but that was solving a problem in a clever manner. Dave Balfour often told that story.
Yeah.
It's evacuation day. It's not St. Patrick's Day.
Tim, you're right, by the way.
Thank you, John.
On your, you got your good history
No,
going.
he's just leaning that way.
On John Hinckley.
Yes.
On June 15th, 2022, Hinckley was fully released from court restrictions.
Yeah.
And in 20,
Not even parole.
no, he was done.
No, he was done.
Yeah. And so he
Well,
did
Mr. Reagan had passed away, I guess, right?
He did an interview with CBS. Hinckley said he expressed remorse for his actions. He apologized to the Reagan family, the James Brady family, and Jodie Foster too.
Yeah.
Because that's what. Oh, she'll be impressed with this.
Yeah, that's right.
I finally got her.
Yeah. All right. I hate when stories pop up like this. This took place in Brockton, Massachusetts. A report of an attempted kidnapping near an elementary school in Brockton turns out to be untrue.
Oh, good.
The kid was awake.
That part is true. That it didn't happen. But the girl, the 12-year-old girl, made it up. Just made it up. That's what I don't like.
Oh, kidnapping. I thought you were
Kidnap.
like napping, like she
No,
was taking
no,
a nap.
the actual, come with me. A 12-year-old student claims someone tried to kidnap her yesterday in a wooded area near the school, but she managed to escape. But today, this morning, police said the student's allegations turned out to be false yesterday. So
Okay.
it's one of those deals. Usually it's one of those deals they're late coming home from school, and they don't want to get mad with mom and dad.
Yeah, like you guys
So
were
I'm
saying.
going to come up with something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like you guys were talking before, these things never made the news before.
Well, no, and now it does.
But you also have more news reporting now than ever. You don't, not just mainstream media, but you have, everybody has a
We have more.
podcast.
We have more gossip than ever.
Anybody can get on the radio nowadays, right?
Yeah, look at you.
We have more gossip than ever before. Gossip is flung far.
It's all hearsay. And I don't care what people say, you have to research it nowadays, because just because you say it doesn't make it true.
That's right.
And just because you
Two
said it doesn't make
sources
you
and
right.
something in writing, or it doesn't go on the air. Except on Coffee Ann.
That's right.
This is the last bastion of gossip here.
So the House, the General Assembly at our State House, they are demanding
Yeah.
a repeal of President Trump's executive orders impacting health and safety
They're
programs.
pounding the table, Joe. They're
And
making a scene.
I'm sure Trump is going, ooh.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's shaking. I better pull
I
all
have
my
more
stuff back.
Republicans than you have Democrats, and you think now you think some Democratic state is going to say, "Oh, all four of you guys, Mr. Magaziner, Mr. Ramo,
four of you guys."
Senators Whitehouse and Reid, we want you in there. We want you to put a stop to this." Yeah, right. You don't have the votes.
Immediate repeal of Trump's executive orders impacting health and safety programs, and they argue Trump's actions, such as withdrawal from the World Health Organization and the Paris Climate Agreement, are, quote, dangerous and damaging, assault on public health, scientific inquiry, and human rights.
Well, look at this.
I guess that's what they believe. So.
Well, yeah, look at this. They're down there, and, the budget hasn't come out. Well, I mean, it's in committee, but it hasn't come to the floor yet. They're at loose ends. They thought of every stupid law they could think of, and they've submitted them. Some are good, some are bad, and some are just a big waste of everybody's time, but it makes them look good. They're just human beings like the rest of us. And, when they're in the State House, they're supposed to look busy. And so they say, well, what else? Well, yeah, I'm really upset about this stuff going on. Well, could we make a resolution? Yeah, we could make a resolution. Would they do anything about it? Doesn't matter. We have to make a resolution so that, people will see us doing our phony baloney jobs.
Are they wasting their time, Tim?
They're wasting their time.
Oh, gosh, they're wasting their time.
It's just a joke.
Yeah.
No, it's
it's
not
a-
a joke.
But it makes
No,
them
it
look.
is,
Does
because
it make
they
them
mean
look
what they
important?
say.
That's exactly what it is, Joe.
Yeah.
It's all
Look how
mouth
important I am.
garbage. It's all words. It doesn't get anywhere. It doesn't mean anything. Focus on what you need in this state.
But when you're running for re-election in a year and a half, you want to be saying to people,
This is what I
I
did."
did
Yeah.
this, I did that.
Right.
And
In this state, it doesn't matter. Because if you look at this state, look at the roads, how bad the roads are, right?
you can't stand on that anymore. I mean, look at the money we're pouring into roads now.
but they-
Name a road that isn't under construction.
But that shouldn't be, because our roads shouldn't get that bad.
Well, you'd say that, but the fact is they did.
I know.
And now
The bridges.
And now our grandkids are going to have fun funding the next massive road improvement program because they're all going to go bad at the same time.
Dave, the problem is in this state, we don't maintain anything. The roads are so bad they don't
Not
get
just
maintained.
here.
No,
Iowa
it's-
says the same thing.
Well, so hold on.
Yeah.
Go up to New Hampshire. Go to Vermont. Because everybody in Rhode Island says,
I
well, we
spent
get
time with people
we
in
get,
Maine.
We get snow. And I said, New Hampshire gets snow? Maine gets snow? Why aren't their roads wrecked? Not like ours. Ours are wrecked. We use a lower grade asphalt.
'Cause it's cheaper.
We don't. Of course it is. We don't maintain. You go down the roads during the summer. You look at the trees growing out of the sidewalks because the state roads. They don't come in and maintain them.
They've passed the bill to change that now.
All right, let's see if it happens.
No.
I'll give you
this
another
is-
example.
Now listen to this now. This is what they've done. They have no way to make their budget. No money can be found for them to balance the books this year at the Rhode Island legislature because all the tricks are used. And it's not going to happen. So it's going to be smoke and mirrors. The governor puts in the budget, we're going to put this tax in. The tax doesn't go in. Or it gets voted in, and it's immediately under litigation, and it can't be collected. Well, that's an exercise in futility. You didn't raise the money to plug the hole in the budget. That's going on right now. We understand these things. But now you have all this stuff going on, and when it's over and done, what do you have to show for it? You've been in business now for a while, but when you run a business, it is a sad reality, Tim, that maintenance is the first thing cut. Because it's the one thing you can kick down the road when you need the cash now and don't have
So
enough to do
maintenance
something.
will get cut because it's the one thing. It shouldn't be cut, and I don't know
we
if I
can all
100%
agree
agree
that
with
it shouldn't be.
Right, but I don't know that it is because I think maybe people will cut back on it because it's not a revenue enhancer, right? Maintenance bleeds your revenue. And if I don't do some maintenance here, okay, it's not increasing my top line dollars. But at the end of the day, if you don't do maintenance, you'll cripple your business because it's just going to look horrible.
I
We got to take a break.
Okay,
Oh.
take a break,
Sorry
Joe.
sorry about
I'll
that.
tell you about Upton and Irving.
Oh, great. All right. This portion of Coffee has been sponsored by the Blackstone Valley Call-In-Times.
You've heard it before. The world is getting smaller. Places you had to travel to years ago now seem right next door. It's no surprise, then, that all the communities of the Blackstone Valley have so much in common these days that we share common interests. Keeping up with this trend, the Blackstone Valley's two daily newspapers, The Call and The Times, have joined forces to cover the entire valley in one convenient newspaper. The Blackstone Valley's Call and Times, a paper for the entire valley. At your local store, honor box, or home delivery, 767-8522. Mostly cloudy skies today with a high of 47 degrees. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies, overnight low of 32. Friday's weather, partly sunny with a high of 54. Saturday, a 20% chance of some rain in the afternoon, mostly cloudy all day, high of 57. Sunday, a 40% chance of rain, cloudy, 64, with a wind from the south up to 35 miles per hour. Sunday night, rain, overnight low of 51. Winds up to 35 miles per hour from the south. 90% chance of rain Sunday night. Monday, 80% chance of rain, mainly before 2 in the afternoon, high of 57. Rain tapers off and starts to clear overnight on Monday. Tuesday, sunshine and 57, and next Wednesday, mostly sunny skies, high of 64.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, we do have some sunny skies and coming through the clouds and 37 degrees.
Message Joe doesn't want to read because he's tired of reading it. We have asked for a change of copy, but
And haven't got it.
The message is important, and so we make fun of it a little bit here. We don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, but kind of wish that they wouldn't talk about the girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. I think she's retired now. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. These are just examples, folks. There's other people who need your help. Reach out and change their world, and we can assure you from personal life's experience that if you reach out and change the world of another person, it will change your own. Read more on the website unbound.org.
J.B. Liquors is more than just a liquor store. It's your friendly neighborhood liquor store. That means you get personalized service as well as a great selection of beer, wine, and spirits. J.B. Liquors has everything you need from everyday brews and table wines to craft beers and single-barrel whiskeys. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday from 7:30 to 10 p.m., Sundays from 10 to 6 p.m. J.B. Liquors, your hometown source for beer, wine, and spirits since 1979. 1117 Social Street across from O'Reilly's Auto Parts in Woonsocket.
50-cent nip bottles are available at JB Liquors.
Entertainment this weekend at Chan's Fine Oriental Dining, 267 Main Street in Woonsocket. The legend, Duke Robillard, and his all-star band take the stage at the Four Seasons Banquet Room tomorrow night, Friday night the 14th, from 8 to 10 at Chan's, featuring the guitar artistry of the great Duke Robillard, Chris Cody, vocals and guitar, Bruce Bears, keys, Doug James, baritone sax, Mark Early does the tenor sax, and Chris Anzalone on the drums, Marty Ballou on the bass. That's Duke Robillard and his all-star band. $30 in advance, $35 at the door. Tomorrow night, Friday night at Chan's. Then, on Saturday, Funky Submarine. Let me tell you about them. They're talented, winning fans as they perform tunes from the Beatles, but in a way that you wouldn't expect. Think horns. It's $15 in advance, $20 at the door. It's Funky Submarine, Saturday night at 8 at Chan's. Plus, they have great food, too. So drop by this St. Patrick's Day weekend and visit John O'Chan at Chan's.
Hi, this is Red Stegall. Join me this week for Cowboy Corner and a return visit from my good friend, Mr. Donnie Gay, 8 times world champion bull rider. Be sure you join us.
This portion of the Coffee and program is sponsored by Attorney Bob Lauder. When you need a skilled attorney who will fight for your rights, look no further than Attorney Bob Lauder of Woonsocket. If your legal questions revolve around estates or trusts, then talk to Bob. If you're contemplating a divorce, then talk to Bob. Attorney Bob Lauder has a calming demeanor, which is very helpful in legal matters. And Bob has more than 40 years' experience practicing law. Call Attorney Bob Lauder today at 401-762-4550, 762-4550. The Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. It is Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards, and Tim McCann has joined us. And then we'll give Tim a half-hour break, and then I'll be back on Do You Remember?
Didn't you make shoes at one time?
I didn't. That was my brother.
Your brother?
Tom
Oh,
McCann.
I thought it was Tom McCann.
And you're not, you were never part of the World Wrestling Entertainment McMahon family either, right?
No, that's not true.
McMahon.
I was. That's McMahon, though.
Oh, that's right. All right. Well, things could always be worse.
So, do we have
Tell us
karaoke?
how they could be worse,
Do
Joe.
we have karaoke tonight at McTee's?
Yes, they do.
All right.
Scott will be there, cranking out the tunes.
There
He does
you
a good
goes.
job. Yeah.
All right. The people in Johnston, they got a battle going on. The mayor, Joseph Policina, he wants to take 30 acres of land by eminent domain and build a new safety complex there.
Right.
The problem is the people that own the land. They don't want this.
They wanted a lot more money than the city wanted to pay.
They want a 250-unit affordable apartment complex on that, and they filed a federal lawsuit claiming the mayor doesn't want affordable housing.
So they went and lawyered up.
And Policina argues the focus needs to be on affordable single-family houses, not apartments.
Here we go.
They are just...
So now you're going to just have a battle of lawyers.
It is a battle of lawyer, and that's who's going to get rich.
Yep.
The lawyers, as this goes to how long... Who knows how long this will take to be straightened out down there in Johnston. So.
And who owns the property?
Oh, I've seen it before. I
Yeah.
don't have the person's name.
Okay, it's one person owns
I think
30
so.
acres.
Yeah.
So it's really, in my opinion, that person owns the property. They bought that property to make an
Yeah.
investment, to make some money, and they should be allowed to do what they want with that property within reason. I mean, you can't put up a nuclear
Well, he wants to
power
put up the affordable apartment complex.
Yeah,
Right.
Let them do it.
Well,
But the mayor I want it.
Yeah,
That's
Of course
right.
you do.
Yeah.
Well, eminent domain is an interesting concept. Comes from Old English law, where one person can't be allowed to disrupt all of society by jealously holding their own rights.
Yeah.
The concept also includes being reasonably compensated, for what you
Market
You
value.
can't give them a buck.
No.
Well,
you know,
right,
got to go
right.
out and get the appraisals and then come up with the cash and stuff. Well, these folks wanted a lot more money.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a portion to eminent domain that Bob Larder would tell you about if he were here. There has to be a compelling reason why that property is the only property that the public needs,
Yeah, it's-
and that would do the trick for them.
Yep.
In other words, they can't just say, well, you know, you could put another piece of land.
Yeah.
Well, if they could just put it on another piece of land, well, eminent domain doesn't even come into it. It can be fought till the cows come home.
Yeah, so usually if you're putting in a highway, that's when the eminent domain will come in because
well,
no,
the
highway
highway
has
is
to go
already
through it.
there,
Has to go through
or
there.
Has
the
to go through
destinations are there,
A
right?
public safety complex.
That's what
I
he
think
wants,
yeah,
yeah.
I think
Could
he's
put
gonna
it
lose that.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
I see they have a lot of space up near Mount Trashmore.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we don't want it there. We want it
Well,
somewhere
usually you
on
want
Route
it
6.
center of the state somewhere, right? Center
You
of
don't
the
like
town.
pigeons,
Yeah.
Joe?
Well, maybe. I don't know. All right, but that's what you're going to hear about that for a while.
Okay.
By the way, in Johnson.
I probably won't hear about it because that's
You're not gonna pay
Johnston, and
attention?
that's the other end of the
Well,
state for
you
me.
know,
the state.
you
yeah.
know.
All the way down to Route 6. Yes, Dave.
Yeah, you can get pretty stubborn down there in Johnston.
No,
that's for
okay.
sure.
Oh, I don't blame him. If I was the owner of that property, I would be banging my
wouldn't
fist on
want-
the table.
Yeah, I wouldn't want it taken from you.
I want $1 million to give this up. Because
All
I
right.
could make $1 million putting houses
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
All right, nearly 200 people from 58 different countries have become U.S. citizens. These are the people that did it the right way.
Yep.
Yeah.
They were naturalized yesterday during a ceremony at the JFK Library and Museum in Boston.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
They immediately exercised their free rights to free speech
Yeah.
by commenting to reporters, saying they're somewhat troubled by the course the country's taking right now,
Well, a lot of these
which
people,
shows that they're engaged
they're
citizens
engaged
They know what's
already.
going
yeah,
on.
and they're
what's
not
going on.
happy with illegals coming in and
Right.
not doing
They
it the
did
right
it
way.
right.
They did it right. Yeah, and I don't
That's
blame them.
right.
I don't know if we always hear when the election is coming up, all the celebs that say, "Oh, if Trump's elected, I'm leaving the country."
Yeah.
One did.
Yeah, Rosie.
Rosie O'Donnell took her kid,
Yeah.
and is now trying to become an Irish citizen. She went to Ireland.
Yep. Now, do you know where in Ireland?
Why, you don't want to look for her? No, I do not know where she went in Ireland.
It's an economic thing, Joe.
No, I think it's a political thing.
I think it's
no,
political.
well, listen.
Well, didn't, Ellen
it might
leave?
have been born of politics, but Timmy,
Yeah.
you know, she can leave the country, and anybody can leave the country to another country that'll have you,
Yeah.
and obey their laws, and you're just
Yeah.
fine, and you're not here, but you still owe this government your taxes.
I'm not sure if she's renouncing her American citizenship.
Yeah, I don't know. She didn't say.
She,
I don't really
she-
care.
Well, she has to be a citizen of somewhere. So,
Right, she wants to be
so
Ireland
she's
now.
applying to Ireland to
Yes.
become a citizen of Ireland, which will give her a standing to renounce.
Yes.
And then she would not contribute funds to this president's administration.
But
It's really financial.
well, whatever you think of Rosie O'Donnell, I give her credit for actually doing what she said she was going to do.
I do too.
Whoopi Goldberg, when are you leaving?
Yep. Oh, Robert De Niro. Bruce
Robert De
Springsteen.
Niro, when are you leaving?
know,
And they never go.
It's all talk.
She actually went and did it. So good for her.
And she went to a great place. I don't know where she went in Ireland, but if she went to Southern Ireland, in Dingle or Cork area,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, okay. And she's Irish. So
Is she? O'Donnell?
The Beatles
so.
did it. The Beatles
did
did
it?
it when the Crown
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
90% of their earnings.
only on 90?
90%.
90%.
They were going
was-
to put in a
is the
public
tax
safety
rate.
office.
and the Crown wanted that, or Parliament actually wanted that, and they said, this is crazy. I mean, can we change the laws? And they said, well, no, we need the money, and we need you millionaires to give us this money. And well, they just went someplace else.
Where'd they go?
John died here,
That's right. Came to New York City.
right?
The only other person.
Paul's still here.
Yeah.
Ringo
Paul's-
is.
I don't think Paul's a U.S. citizen. I think he's still in London.
No,
I
that's
think
the,
George Harrison.
You might be
died
right
here.
about that.
George Harrison died here, right?
No, he died. No, he died.
George
in England.
Harrison died in England.
Yeah.
Was it in England? Okay.
Yeah,
Had the
shortly
pleasure
after
of
he
meeting
had
him.
that
Oh, yeah?
break-in
Yeah.
and that attack in his house.
That's right. Yeah.
He got stabbed in the chest.
Yeah, I remember
He was
that.
never right after that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. The only other celeb I can think of that left the United States, I don't know for whatever reason, had nothing to do with Trump because she left so long ago, was Tina Turner. Went to
Switzerland.
Switzerland or
Yeah.
Sweden, I forget which one. And just
but
went over there.
She just
Okay.
recently passed, unfortunately.
True.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take another break here in the Coffee and program. And this portion of Coffee and has been sponsored by attorney Bob Lauder. When you need a skilled attorney who will fight for your rights, look no further than attorney Bob Lauder of Woonsocket. If your legal questions revolve around estates or trusts, then talk to Bob. If you're contemplating a divorce, then talk to Bob. Attorney Bob Lauder has a calming demeanor, which is very helpful in legal matters. And Bob has more than 40 years' experience practicing law. Call attorney Bob Lauder today at 401-762-4550, 762-4550. The Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice.
Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogies with onions and what they call dirty sour cream. Or pick up gołąbki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported foods. Open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 in the morning till 6 p.m., Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays from 8 to 5 p.m. It's Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse. Follow us on Facebook and learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street, Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text MIND to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text MIND to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text MIND to 200-300. That's MIND to 200-300. MIND to 200-300.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
All right, it is Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. And I'm Joe Callahan here with Tim McCann and Dave Richards. And I love that Amtrak has got a sense of humor.
They do.
Yes, they do. Because they're poking fun at Southwest Airlines because Southwest came out and said, okay, you're going to have to pay for your checked bags.
Well,
unless you're part of their loyalty program.
Yeah, loyalty, you have their credit card.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Amtrak came out and they posted on X, quote, guess we're the only ones doing free baggage now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you just rode Amtrak, Dave. Yeah,
I
everything
did,
okay
down to
with it?
Washington to see our Congress critters and back again.
Enjoyable?
Very enjoyable experience. These people, I talk about service. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
The last time I flew back from anywhere, I think it was from convention, where in the airport they changed our gate to one that was significantly further away. I'm sitting at the gate that we're supposed to be at. They changed it, and no one told us.
Wow.
No, and they have my text number, but then no one told us. Until I'm looking over there, and we're getting to be like half an
Pretty
hour from
close.
flight time, and I
time
said,
to
we should be
board.
boarding. What's going on here? And I'm looking around. That's the wrong flight number. Checking. This is on my phone from Southwest. You're going out this gate. Yep, this is the gate. Well, they changed it and didn't. Now, I only
That's
told you that.
unusual.
I only told you that to tell you this. I'm at the Providence station a week ago Monday.
The train station.
Yeah, Providence train station for Amtrak, right? And it's been a while since I've done the train, so I wanted to be sure what has changed. I haven't taken the train since before the pandemic. So I go over to the window, and I ask my question. I see that there's no gate number for that train. He says, yeah, well, it could be on a different track, depending on circumstances. We usually don't put it up till just a few minutes before it arrives. Then you'll know what gate it is. So not seeing the gate, completely normal. Okay, great. So I go. And then it's the phone goes off. Problem with a switch in Billerica, your train is going to be late. In Providence, delayed as they get maintenance on the switch so that the train can go. Then another 5 minutes goes by, train now underway, revised ETA.
So you're kept up to date the entire time.
Exactly.
Well, that's great.
And it's just really, really remarkable how well they've got it down.
So I've been flying Southwest
Good customer service.
for probably 20 years.
All right.
So long that I flew on the planes that they had the bench seats and you were facing the back of the plane.
Wow.
So that's how long I've been flying in.
Well, that's if they hit anything, then you're just going to the back.
I've always had really good experiences on Southwest. And we've actually
They had a sense of humor for a while.
Oh, they still do. They still do. But sometimes it's a little difficult in today's world because you don't know who's on that plane listening to you.
Yeah.
They toe a line. But
Yeah.
we actually get a companion pass because we fly them so much. So my wife can fly for free. If I have to be on the plane, if I'm on the plane, she can get on the plane for $5. So it works. So we love Southwest.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're having a good experience. That's cool.
Amtrak's nice too, by the way.
I've been on Amtrak since college. I really should take a.
Well,
train ride
if you're
sometime.
not going really, really far, and Washington's about as far out as you'd want to go, because
yeah.
after that, Amtrak rents the freight rails.
Yeah.
And they have to pull off to a siding whenever a freight train's coming through.
Freight gets the right of way.
Freight gets the right of way on those tracks.
All right.
And the tracks aren't as well kept up. But when you look at, you can walk into the train station in Providence. There's no TSA, no this, that, or the other thing.
Nope.
You can walk on.
It's a
to
great
your
experience.
You can get there literally 5 minutes before the train leaves. Walk directly to your gate. And they'll close the doors at 2 minutes before the train actually leaves.
Yep.
Find a seat. Decide whatever seat you want. Doesn't matter. Of course, a cellar they assign your seats, but but in
the cellar's
the
not
regular
assigned seating.
Northeast Regional, they don't assign seats.
I don't think they
Acela
assign
doesn't
seats
either?
in the Acela.
In the
either.
cellar, they do. Yeah.
Only in the club car.
I never saw that happen.
But then they
before.
just started doing that.
They
'cause
just
they just
they're
started
doing
that
it
because they have
now.
the quiet car.
Yep, that's right. They have all of those things that are great little services, and there's always room on a train. The things that make you happy. But when you add it all up and then you get off and you're right there at the street again,
It's perfect.
I'm saying, people I went to this convention down in Washington, people who flew there got up earlier.
Yeah.
Took longer in travel before they got to their hotel room than I did.
Yeah.
And I took a train.
The big question then comes, Dave. Well, what about cost between the train and the airplane?
You don't save much.
Okay.
You don't save much. Round trip to Washington for
So
me
it's about the same
was
amount of money.
$202.
Yeah. Well, okay. That's
And
about- that's
I had
about
to take
flat.
the Acela back to get back here at the time I needed to get back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to take the Acela coming back. I'd never taken the Acela before this past trip because I always, you know what I love about the train is that because I've got my computer. It's my own little office.
Yeah.
Every train car has an electrical outlet right next to your seat.
Yep.
You plug in, keep your machine working. You can bring your portable internet with you, and wow.
And it's nice scenery. I mean, going through Connecticut.
Well, yes and
along
no.
the-
You know,
during the spring,
where the train
summer-
tracks aren't necessarily the garden spot of Baltimore.
Well, I don't know about out of Penn
Yeah.
to Washington. I've never done that, but
Okay.
going into Penn,
Yeah.
it's nice.
Nice.
You
Yeah.
get, you look around, you see the scenery, especially in the summers. when
Southern
the
Rhode
beaches-
Island,
Yeah.
it's gorgeous.
Yeah, of
They
course
take
it
you
is.
right through the bogs and right near the bay, and my goodness, yeah.
Well, we get a total lunar eclipse is coming.
I know.
Early Friday morning.
That's right.
Say a full moon called the blood moon.
Which will be
make-
tomorrow, Joe.
Thank you. We'll make the moon appear red during a total lunar eclipse that's going to peak at 2:55 a.m.
I'm not
I'll be-
staying up, Joe, no
set
matter
your,
what you
This
say.
is about what
set
time
your
you
alarms.
called me this morning to come in.
Just about. The entire eclipse will start late tonight, lasting roughly 6 hours. It will be visible from the, although we're going to have clouds, so we might not see it.
Well,
That's
where's
right.
it visible
You ain't
from?
seeing nothing tonight.
It will be visible from the Earth's western hemisphere
Possible.
with prime viewing conditions across North and South America. Spectators don't need anything special to watch the eclipse, but experts warn light pollution and weather conditions can impact the view. Binoculars could help.
Wow.
Not with clouds.
No, well, you see the clouds better. Oh, that's nice. All right.
On a clear day, I could see the blindfold.
That's right. Well, it's too bad. Providence College men's basketball, URI men's basketball, both got bounced out in their tournaments.
Yikes.
At their respective tournaments,
That
the Big
didn't
East
take
tournament
long.
and Atlantic 10 tournament, both lost. Both are done. They will not make the tournaments, the NCAA tournaments this year. So let's go, Bryant.
So
Go for
we have I think NCAA comes to Providence, correct?
The first rounds.
Yeah, first and second, right?
First and second rounds
Yeah.
of basketball are in Providence this year. And that's next weekend.
The
20th and 22nd.
starts on Sunday, right?
No,
not
starts on
Providence,
Thursday.
but it doesn't.
It's either Thursday, Saturday, or Friday, Sunday.
Okay.
It's one of those. And there's a possibility Bryant might actually play. Now they got to win their conference.
That's my alma mater.
And they go up against, I forget who they're playing. I think it's Buffalo. But I'm not positive for their championship. And that would be great if they could play
I
in
think
Providence.
Brian had a great year last year, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They're doing very, very well, and they're doing well this year. Okay, you should not steal from electronic gambling machines. All right.
Now you tell me.
Yeah, I know. West Fargo, North Dakota, accused of stealing $68,000 from gambling machines at the West Fargo Hockey Association.
All right.
Okay. Steve Lyon, not the former Boston Red Sox player. Organization leaders say the theft was discovered during an audit and that the former employee admitted to taking the money and then returned it, but still got caught.
Was it all quarters?
Get out the big buckets. And then
Pretty old school, Tim. They don't use the quarters anymore.
No, yeah, that's right.
But he's still facing charges from West Fargo police, even though you stole it and put it back. It's not the
That's
way it
called
works.
borrowing.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Without permission?
Borrowing without permission.
All right. Did anybody see the movie This Is Spinal Tap?
No, I've never seen it.
I've never seen it either.
I've seen portions of it.
There's a Spinal Tap 2 coming out. Spinal Tap came out in 1984.
Okay.
It's a mockumentary about a fictitious band called Spinal Tap.
That's right.
But Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, will release in theaters in September. The three guys that were in the original movie will be back. Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer back as the band.
Harry Shearer?
Yes. One plays bass, one plays double bass, and one plays like triple bass. That's one of the jokes.
Wow.
They're all and every time they play a concert, the drummer dies, so they have to have a new drummer all the time. It's actually pretty funny.
So since the second one's coming out, the
But they're
original
all
will
covered.
be out on streaming services
So
all over the place.
In the new movie, the fictional band will reunite for one final concert after a 15-year hiatus.
Only 15?
Well, that's what they say.
So we have homework, Joe. We have to see Spinal
we have
Tap.
to see it. Now, Rob Reiner was the original director, and he's in the original Spinal Tap as like
Meathead.
as like the interviewer.
People should know this is a tongue-in-cheek
It
farce.
is. It's
a
the
satirical
whole
farce.
thing's a joke. So and so this will be that as well. All right. Let's see. Anything else going on of any real importance here? Amazon MGM is developing a Tiger Woods movie. If you like golf,
yeah, I do.
Are a big Tiger Woods fan. It's in developed by that company.
I understood why they didn't make a big joke about his name and the names on the golf clubs.
Woods?
Yeah, like he could sell his own line of golf clubs. That would be the Tiger
The
Players,
drivers,
the Tiger
Woods.
Drivers,
Use the Woods, yeah.
and the Tiger Woods.
All right. Well, former President Obama and First Lady Michelle
Big
Obama's
opportunity
company,
missed.
Higher Ground, is in talks to produce the film. Woods is one of the most accomplished golfers of all time. He's won 15 major championships and 82 PGA Tour events.
Yeah, he's an incredible athlete.
And he's not going to make the Masters this year. 'Cause
No.
he just had surgery.
Again.
Or something. Yeah.
And the Masters is coming up next month.
It's always in May. April.
No, April.
April down there in Georgia.
Second
That's,
week,
you're right.
Augusta.
Let's see. No word on who's going to play Tiger just yet. So you're still in the running, Tim.
Gary
I am.
Coleman.
I am.
He's not in the running, Dave.
No, he's in the ground, unfortunately.
The measles cases just keep going around and around. We've got Texas, we've had Maryland, we've had New Mexico, and now California. Los Angeles County is confirming its first measles case of 2025. The infected person, an LA County resident, recently traveled through LAX. The person was on
Spreading cheer wherever they went.
they were
Should
on
have taken the train.
a China Airlines flight that landed in Los Angeles on March 5th. Public health officials will be notifying people who may have been exposed to the measles, like everybody on the airplane would be one. So, doesn't say if this is a child, like others, unvaccinated, things like that.
Yeah.
We just don't know.
You just don't know.
So, all right. I'm inoculated. That's all I care about.
Yeah, I think
So,
everybody our age is.
Yeah, it's just you just did it. You didn't
Well,
question it.
you didn't know it.
Well, we were
Your
kids.
parents did it
That's
to you.
right. All right, that'll do it for the show for today. So we thank you very much for listening in. Tim, thanks for getting up nice and early. And
I
getting
was
in your
up.
car and driving here and saying, I
question,
can't believe
though.
I got to do this for Joe.
Will Tim go for the doubleheader today?
Yeah, I got to stick around with Gary.
Well, Gary's not going to let him out. So, yeah. Gary's already here, and he's
Yeah.
just going to block the
That
door.
boy, yeah, that boy can block a door.
Tim, thanks for coming in today. I
Thanks
appreciate
for
it.
having me, Ken, Joe.
Dave, thanks for coming in as well.
Great to be here.
All right,
See you
I'm Joe.
tomorrow.
I'm Joe Callan. Like we mentioned, do you remember with Gary Smith and the crew, whichever the crew consists of today, we'll find out.
I think it's Eddie, Gary, and myself.
Coming up at 9:30 this morning, right here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. A land battle